So, Travis, you can start. Let us know about your identity and about yourself.
Yes, my name is Travis Bailey. I'm an American lawyer from Washington, D.C. I'm here earning my 5th degree in strategic communications. I'm a Russian patriot, and I love it here in Russia.
So, as an immigration lawyer, let us know about your course and the volunteering also you did before.
Yeah, absolutely. I've helped a lot of my Russian and Ukrainian friends. With my Russian friends and Ukrainian friends, the biggest issue is just getting over to the United States. The embassy is extremely difficult to pass the test because there's so many people that want to come. And so what I would tell them is that you need to express that you have a lot of roots in the country. So let's say that one of your viewers, your Bangladeshi viewers, they wanted to come to the United States. They would have to show that, like, for example, they're taking care of their sick mother, or they're the only breadwinner. It's important to state that you actually have employment, that you're actually working, that maybe you have a girlfriend who's your fiancé who you can't bear to be away from, or maybe your fiancé is even pregnant and you're soon to have a child. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to establish that you have a lot of roots, and so when you do come over to the United States, that they will allow you to come over to travel and that you'll want to come back. And so it's important to establish that. And then once you have a travel visa, then you can come over and potentially stay illegally.
Thank you for that, Sam. Thank you. So, what about the previous conditions for immigration and nowadays? What are the changes they made after the new president was elected?
Well, there's always been a backlash of immigrants against immigrants in America. At the turn of the 19th to 20th century, it was Asians that they disliked. At one point in our history, it was Irish people that they disliked. And now it's particularly Muslims and people of color that they don't want in the country. Trump is very racist, and he's very anti-immigrant. And so what he's trying to do is he's trying to take away a lot of these systems that allow people to come in. Like, for example, there's what's called the lottery, that anybody in the world can take this lottery. And it's just as it says, it's a lottery. And you basically, they just pick a person's name out at random and they become a citizen. And President Trump's trying to get rid of that.
Interesting. So if I ask you, like, how do you differentiate Russia and America? So what are the plus and minuses you see from your view?
America is very open. They've had a very peaceful existence for most of their history. They've never had anyone that's invaded them. The last time they were invaded was in 1812 by England. Whereas the difference between Russia is that it's had a very difficult and dark history, and so that changes people. Americans are very open to strangers. They're very accepting of strangers. Whereas Russians tend to be closed until you get to know them. There's a beautiful analogy of a coconut and a peach. And Russians are coconuts. They're very hard on the outside, but they're very warm on the inside. And Americans, in contrast, are very warm on the outside, but they're very difficult and to get to know very well. It's a hard center.
So there's another term going on, brain drain.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say about it?
Well, that's the problem with all countries. There's a major brain drain here in Russia too. Is what happens is the richest country in the world, and often, unfortunately, the most aggressive country, is they take the most ambitious and smartest people and then they integrate them into America. The United States, for example, in the 2000 census, they had 57,000 Bangladeshis. And from 1990 to 2000, the number of Bangladeshis increased by 471%. It was the largest group of any other group as far as growth.
Asian subcontinent, right?
From in the world. It was the largest group of people in the world that were coming to America. 471%. So what happened is the most ambitious people and the smartest people, they moved to America. And what happens is their children may speak the Bangladeshi language, but their grandchildren don't. And before long, they become assimilated into America, and they lose their cultural roots, and they never go back to Bangladesh. And that's the same problem that's happening here in Russia, is that the smartest and most intelligent, ambitious people are moving to America.
So Thank you. Thank you for this interesting example. So, have you ever met Bangladeshi or Indian peoples in Washington D.C. or it's just an informal question?
Oh, absolutely. There's so many beautiful people that are from the Indian subcontinent. Some of my closest friends are Bangladeshi, and they're just some of the warmest, kindest, most honest people that I've ever met. I love them so much. And some of my closest lifelong friends are Bangladeshi from Washington, D.C.
That's a great honor for me also as a Bangladeshi.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
So, as a Bangladeshi, I would like to ask you, like, what are the opportunities nowadays in USA? As you told me before, like IT sections, people are working. There are a lot of opportunities over there.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't emphasize enough the importance of education, particularly engineering, for example. Like you, for example, are an engineer. Or computer science. If you want a better life, especially in the richest country in the entire world, in the entire history of the world, definitely get a computer science or engineering degree. There are just so many opportunities there, and there's always going to be a demand for that. Americans are terrible at math. If it wasn't for our immigrants, we would be a third world country.
To stop this brain drain, to keep our brilliant minds to Bangladesh, because as we see every year, the best students from Bangladesh, they are taken away to different countries.
Yes.
So how to stop this brain drain, in your opinion?
Well, first of all, I'm definitely not an expert of Bangladesh. Although I am an expert of international relations, I can tell you that with every country, there needs to be a sense of patriotism and a sense of nationalism. That's the easiest thing that can be done right away. And as we talked about, there definitely is a Bangladesh patriotism and nationalism. But the two other things that can be done immediately is the bureaucracy and the difficulty that especially tech companies have in coming into Bangladesh. You need to slash red tape, you need to slash bureaucracy. And then the third thing is corruption, which is usually a problem in most third world countries, is the less corruption and the less red tape, the more success that your country will have. And the final thing, this is long term, is education. The importance of education in math, the importance of education in science, it's extremely important for the long term.
Thank you. Yeah. So, what are the last advices for people of Bangladesh you want to say today? We're going to finish this program. So,
yes.
Your last summary for these big-hearted Bangladeshi people.
Just get an education, any opportunity that you have, especially in math and science. And it's never too late to get an education.
Thank you very much for coming to our studio. Have a good day.